We all know dogs are called a human's best friend, but what if your most loyal companion was a lion, a shark, or even a fish? Across the world, incredible bonds between humans and animals prove that friendship knows no species. From a pelican that learned to fly from a human to a lion that never forgot its owner after years apart, these heartwarming stories will leave you in awe. Let's dive into the most unbelievable, touching, and unlikely friendships between people and wild creatures. Number 1. Big Bird, the pelican who learned to fly from a human. In 2014, a pelican named Big Bird captured the hearts of millions. After a violent storm separated him from his flock, he was left stranded and helpless, until the kind-hearted staff at Greystoke Mahala Camp in Tanzania rescued him. But Big Bird had one big problem. He didn't know how to fish. And worse, he had never learned to fly. That's when Jeffrey, the camp manager, stepped in, determined to teach him. His unconventional method? Running along the shore, flapping his arms like wings, hoping the pelican would mimic him. Surprisingly, it worked. Under their care, Big Bird thrived, gaining strength and even developing a playful personality, stealing sunglasses, snatching magazines, and becoming a beloved member of the camp family. But fate had other plans. Tragically, Big Bird lost his life in a boating accident before ever reuniting with his flock. His story remains a powerful testament to the bond between humans and animals, a friendship built on trust, love, and a bit of wing-flapping determination. Number 2. Yoriko, the fish that befriended a diver. Lifelong friendships are rare, but what if your best friend was a fish? For over 20 years, Japanese diver Hiroyuki Arakawa has been visiting the same Asian sheepshead race named Yoriko. Their friendship began when Arakawa found Yoriko injured, unable to hunt. Every day for 10 days, he brought her 5 crabs, nursing her back to health. That brief act of kindness sparked something incredible. Unlike other fish, Yoriko recognizes Arakawa instantly, swimming up to greet him every time he dives. Even more astonishing, she allows him to pet her. Science backs this up. Studies show that fish can recognize human faces, meaning Yoriko truly remembers her old friend. Some friendships transcend land and sea. This one is proof. Number 3. Jessica, the hippo who became a family member. Imagine raising a hippo as part of your family. Sounds impossible? Not for Tony and Shirley Joubert. In 2000, a devastating flood left a newborn hippo stranded along a riverbank in South Africa. She was too weak to stand, still had her umbilical cord attached, and was on the brink of death. The Jouberts took her in, feeding her a special homemade formula, nurturing her like their own child. They named her Jessica, and she grew up believing she was part of the family, playing with their dogs, cuddling with her human parents, and even enjoying cups of tea on their porch. Despite growing into a massive 3,000-pound adult, Jessica remained gentle. Even after being released to live among wild hippos, she still visits Tony and Shirley every single day. Some bonds never break. Number 4. Kiara, the lioness who never forgot. Lions don't purr, but if they did, Kiara would purr for Adolfo, the man who raised her. As a tiny cub, Kiara was fed, played with, and loved by Adolfo. Their bond grew so strong that even after she matured into a full-grown lioness, she never forgot him. Whenever they reunite, she acts just like an overgrown house cat, rubbing against him, growling in delight, and showering him with affection. Even after years apart, her love never fades. Number 5. A shark's unexpected friendship. Sharks aren't known for hugs and cuddles, but one Port Jackson shark in Australia is proving everyone wrong. Scuba diving instructor Rick Anderson first met the baby shark years ago. Unlike others who fear sharks, he gently approached her, cradling her in his arms. Now, every time he dives near her reef, she swims straight to him, just for a hug. While Rick warns that sharks should always be respected, His unique friendship shows they aren't the ruthless killers Hollywood makes them out to be. Number 6. Fagin, the crow who never left. Crows are among the smartest birds in the world, but they don't usually choose to live with humans. Fagin is an exception. When Vicky Kane Ward found an abandoned baby crow, she took him home, expecting him to leave once he could fend for himself. But he never did. Even though Fagin is free to fly, he chooses to stay with Vicky, living as part of her family. He lounges with her dog, joins them on walks, and flies for fun, not survival. Some say crows never forget a face. Fagin proves that some never forget a friend. Number 7. Mariah, the goose who chose a human. Most people choose their pets, but in this case, the pet chose the human. One day, former salesman Dominique Erler was strolling through a park when a goose began following him and wouldn't stop. From that moment on, the two were inseparable. Named Mariah, the goose followed Erler on daily walks, fiercely defending him from other people and even dogs. When she tried to follow him home, Erler knew they had an unusual friendship. A year later, Mariah was temporarily relocated to a zoo, but Erler continued to visit. Then came the shocking discovery. Mariah was actually male. His name was changed to Mario, but their friendship, that stayed the same. Number 8. Jackson, the blind horse, who refused to give up. When Jackson the horse lost his sight, most owners would have given up on him, not Roderick Olson. 10 years after Jackson arrived at Olson's farm, he went completely blind. It should have been the end of his freedom. But Olson refused to let that happen. With time, Jackson learned to trust Olson completely. Today, despite his blindness, he trots, gallops, and even climbs hills, guided only by the voice of the man who never gave up on him. Would you ever befriend a wild animal? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more amazing stories.